Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to the relay station. Let's hope that this all works. This is my first time trying to do it to this thing, so I don't know what I'm doing, but
I do like that I'm Shiver and Nakara
yeah,
is
I
Canadian
didn't change
syrup.
those. I didn't change those. Right. I should I'll do that.
I should be more British.
I have a new name.
I'll
My name is Captain Syrup,
Captain Syrup.
and I transcribe.
Well, it's not that far from the truth, is it?
Haha! There's one done. I'll do the others in a minute. So, we're back. Just like we said we'd be. We're alive, and we're here to stay. We are Relay, and this is the Relay Station. My name's David. I break things. Beneath me is Nakara. He fixes the things that I break. Beside him is Shiver. He makes fun of me for breaking things. And above him is Paul. He's just an impartial observer from the Astro Pub, and he probably sold me the alcohol that caused me to break things in the first place.
I was gonna say that I am the reason why you break things.
Oh yes, 100%. Bottom left. Let's change this one to Nakara.
Am I the Space Pope? Glory be. So, if I say it, it's official. Star Citizen is coming out on an Amiga. It's going to be an Amiga exclusive.
I was gonna say, you gotta understand. All right, you're Relay. You already are officially CIG. Remember, that's what everyone has said. You're already a paid employees of CIG, so whatever you say is confirmed.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we've been working on this for a very long time. CIG doesn't even know, but we are on the staff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We're
Confirmed.
secret payees
Take it to the forum,
who
people.
get paid nothing, but yeah.
We don't even have to go into their offices.
Yeah, it's great. We work from right here. We stream once a week. This is our job. Oh.
And we're so sorry we're bad at it.
Yeah, I do apologize.
That's why we have Berserker here, so he can teach us his secrets.
Yeah, no, you're asking the wrong man.
What do I do, and how do I stop doing it badly?
Get good, son. Get good. Be like a Drake pilot and just get good.
This is the first of our budget editions of the Relay Station. Keep in mind that basically every episode of the Relay Station will be a budget edition because I'm running it and I don't know what I'm doing ever. Oh god, Zane's in chat. Zane is asking me how my stomach is today. For those of you that don't know, last night the base ran a fundraising drive, and they raised something phenomenal, something like $700 and whatever dollars, which is great. Unfortunately, the way that they did that is they took a bunch of sore saps or tributes or idiots, whatever you want to call us, and said that for every $5, one of those people have to eat a jelly bean. But not just a normal jelly bean, no, it's one of these stupid, bloody, worst freaking idea in the world, Bean Boozled bullshit. God.
You don't like our Lord and Savior Bean Boozled? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, I gave up after an hour, and I'm still actually occasionally tasting some canned dog food.
Oh, you only did an hour.
I only did an hour. I still taste it.
You know the solution to that, David? Alcohol.
No, actually,
lots of alcohol.
No, because I tried that last night. It actually made it worse. I had some nice spiced rum.
You didn't drink enough. That's the answer. You didn't drink enough.
I don't think
you didn't drink until you don't remember eating canned dog food.
Spoiled milk, rotten eggs, barf, booger, stinky socks, dead fish, toothpaste, canned dog food, moldy cheese, and lawn clippings. Oh, God.
So you had a really good night last night.
No, and I honestly still taste the canned dog food in the back of my throat. And I've brushed my teeth.
Stop
I've gargled.
eating
I've had
the dog
tea.
food then.
I'm not. I've had food. Like, I've done everything else. Just absolutely.
I mean, I'm pretty sure when you listed the flavors, dog food wasn't on there. So why you can taste it?
It was. It's on there. Oh no. I can very confidently say never again. But at the same time, it was great to raise money for the base. The base are awesome. Check them out at thebase.sc. They are always running music. They're run by some crazy monkey, Rico. He also does. He also set up Bar Citizen SC. So,
as far as I'm
He's a good
aware,
person.
that money they raised yesterday is going towards their servers, keeping it in a much more stable, and everyone should benefit.
yeah. Speaking of funding going to servers and stuff, we have a Patreon up. If you want to donate to help us run our servers and things, you can find it. Patreon. It's on our website. I hate doing that. Sorry.
I must
let me
say
plug for
right
you.
now.
Hold on.
No,
I must
don't.
say-
Alrighty. So,
Oh,
if you guys want to continue to support the wonderful podcast where we totally don't just derp around and talk about Star Citizen every Saturday, and the fantastic site that does everything for you, literally, it does everything for you, you lazy fucks. Stop just like, I don't want to watch 20 minutes of this. I'm just going to look up a short summary. I wonder how much money they've made. Let's compare it to all the money that they've made in the last 4 years. Oh, look, someone's already done all the math for you. So you're welcome. The least you could do is chip like a buck or so their way. Just be like, here you go, space hobos. There you go. Here's some money. Get yourself cleaned up. You know.
that's possibly the best advertisement we've ever received. Thank
Did
you,
we
Paul.
record that?
I hope I am recording this. So
I could probably get the audio out of that.
Oh,
Either
well.
stop being lazy. Either stop being lazy, or give them just $1. All right. It's the least you can do, people.
Jake nailed it.
yeah,
Relay.
you're welcome. I have to say, keep in mind, 1 week ago, right now, we launched for the first time. We've only been up a week. We've got four fantastic articles. We've got 2
I think
transcripts.
there's actually 5. 'cause
Five?
There's one skip too.
Oh yeah. Oh, that one's not fantastic though. Board Gamer UK says there's no donation button here, or is it all about the Patreon? Right now, it's all about the Patreon. I'm gonna try and set up a PayPal thing eventually. I just haven't yet.
we
It's-
have
it's more-
we
it's
have
more
900
complicated.
things on our plate.
Yeah.
It's more complicated. It's more complicated for these guys board because they're actually an actual company.
And it's
So
more
you got-
complicated because we're a
It's not-
Canadian company.
Yeah. So
I
they
got
have to deal with a lot of other things, which is more complicated, and including taxes and how they pay them and such. So
what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. One of the things that's really, I think, is really nice to note, and this is something that I want to give props to Nixt again for, who set up our website. A week ago when we launched relay.sc, it launched in white, and I still use the white layout. I think it looks fantastic, but one of the number one comment we got was that everyone wanted a dark mode. Now, if you go to relay.sc, at the top right, there's a dark mode button. You click it, boom, dark mode. And that was done, like, literally a day or two after people started asking for it. Nixt is amazing.
A day or two after people constantly ask for it. So if you
listen.
Constantly
Reddit,
ask Nix for something, it happens.
Reddit still doesn't really have a good dark mode. Okay.
Yeah.
And
No,
it
I
took
know.
them years for them to actually implement a shitty dark mode that they have now, and it's still worse than the one that someone put together in like 5 minutes for Reddit Enhancement Suite. So, you know, that's impressive. All right, good job. Good
Yeah.
job. Good job. Everyone give them golf claps.
Golf
Good
claps.
job.
Golf claps.
Tally-ho.
Okay.
Good job. Good show there.
Good show. Yep, we're done. That's it.
Good
That's
show.
the show. No. So you know what? We normally start off
we're
with
sorry
this.
we were a little short on the Star Citizen content today.
Yeah.
Check in next week with the relay station.
Yeah.
Glad you just published 2.6. We wouldn't have this problem.
Oh God, I know. I would love
Well, you do
2.6.
realize what's happening, right? I saw the 19-minute ATV, and I'm like, yeah, they're saving everything for the holiday live stream.
They are saving
All
everything
of
for
it.
the holiday live.
Every last bit.
Yeah.
They're like, what can we
Everything.
put on here that we don't really care about? Here you go.
Yeah, here, watch some really bad, like not textured at all animations, just animations of people going like that.
I mean, it was still cool, but it was like, yeah, this is what they had left over.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to my inverted landing on a Bengal carrier in Squadron 42 and seeing those guys freak out like,
What are you doing?
You have to turn around.
in animations.
Flip over. That's
There's an exploit. When you open the ship, you can say, g'day, and you get away with it. It's fine.
You just land upside down in the.
Yeah.
So you guys set my calendar to or my location to Austria. Sorry, let's continue. My bad.
I just had this vision of somebody landing upside down on the flight deck and then like popping their ejection seat to like knock their ship off of them.
No, hang on. Ente Perfecta noticed something. We gotta take down Relay. It's terrible. It's all broken. He noticed that the icon next to dark mode is a moon, and the icon next to light mode is also a moon. The
moon is associated with both light and darkness.
Oh, okay.
Live with it.
Okay, so Paul.
One is a solar eclipse. One is a lunar eclipse.
Ah, that makes sense.
Oh, okay, that works. I think.
It's unusable. Totally
unusable.
Yeah.
Paul, you have joined us a few times, actually. You joined us last week, or we joined you last week during the 12-hour whatever that was.
Extravaganza.
Yes, extravaganza. But why don't you tell us a little bit about where you come from and what you do? Because this is your first time on this show.
On this show, yes. Well, hello. Welcome, everybody. My name is Paul Berserker01 Batman Shelley. I am the owner and operator of a little Twitch channel called the Astro Pub. It is a science fiction and space-based Twitch channel. We do mostly Star Citizen, but we do other games as well. And we do a weekly podcast after this podcast called The Captain's Table, which starts at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and 11 p.m. GMT. We bring on content creators like I think every single one of these people up here has been on there at least once.
Good times every time.
And just talk to Star Citizen. So if you guys enjoy Star Citizen, you enjoy live streaming, you enjoy me putting on a helmet on, rocking out, or just getting drunk with people in the Star Citizen community and talking about how we're totally CIG devs. Totally. Please don't sue us, CIG. Then yeah, you come and hang out.
You should, because the Astro Pub is one of my favorite shows to be on. So you do this so much better than I do, curating the discussion and keeping people talking and interested. And I kind of just
literally
that's because we're not on it.
Yeah,
no, it's because quite literally it's my job, my day job. I'm a teacher, so I have to make it interesting. Otherwise, I get murdered by like 16-year-old hormonal kids. So yeah, so I've learned how to herd cats pretty well, and so long as Captain Richard isn't on farting all the time, then usually we're okay. Last time he was on, he literally farted the entire time, and
I love that guy.
Isn't that all he does?
He farted into the microphone. All right, like he apparently ate an entire pizza, and he so the entire time he was just like he would get up and be like into the microphone. All that it was wonderful and glorious. It's the Captain's Table to a team.
Glorious.
We also have people like Board Gamer and Jake Acapella, who are also in chat.
They
They're
are
wonderful people.
They are.
Well, sometimes.
Well, yeah. I mean,
And Fastcart.
Fastcart is the best people.
I can't.
Fast
As
Car-
I remember, didn't Fastcart birth a new name on the Captain's Table?
Black Jurassic.
That's excellent.
Just astounds. That's what it is.
I like it. So, you know what? we at Relay, we do one thing, and we do that one thing adequately. That one thing is talk about Star Citizen and discuss it and analyze it and transcribe it and fictionalize it and do whatever Nakara does about it and make news out of it and make communities out of it.
No one knows what I do.
No one knows what I do. But
Nakara's only here for his sweet, sweet karma. All them upvotes.
That's right.
All them upvotes for
all the upvotes.
It's the only reason why he's here.
Yeah.
The amount of upvotes he has is his karma like wealth is he is the 1% of karma whores in the Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where I'm going.
I don't know. When I came on, I saw Nakara going on Reddit and just all of the upvotes and all of the accolades that he was getting, and it was like, I can steal that from him. And I couldn't.
I can harness it, use it for my power.
You seem to forget that I was the one who invited you.
Yeah, I know. Because
Fun fact,
yeah.
Me and Nakara actually used to be on the subreddit. We actually used to compete against each other to see who could post faster. He always beat me. Because it was like I was like waiting, like, okay, ATV's out, and drop it in, and then like literally he beat me like 30 seconds or like a millisecond. Like you just like have a bot. You just have a bot that scrapes CIG and just posts shit on Reddit.
It was always fantastic because I can't get to RSI website at work. I can get to cloudImperiumGames.com for some reason, but not RSI. And I'd just sit there on Reddit hitting refresh, waiting for Nakara to post, and be like, "Ooh, what's in this one?" Oh, beautiful. Okay, you know what? Since we are ostensibly a Star Citizen focused podcast and website, we should talk about some Star Citizen. Now,
Really?
I guess.
Oh.
Does anyone in chat want us to talk about Star Citizen? One.
We can sit here and talk about Nakara the entire time.
Yeah, no one said anything. I
remember Star Citizen. Do you remember Star Citizen?
I remember Star Citizen. You remember?
I would like everyone to know that I booted Star Citizen for the first time in months last week. A personal.
He means for the first time ever.
No, not ever. Not ever. But for the first time in months, I booted it up. It was great. I actually flew some races in an Aurora. Personal accomplishment for me. So let's talk about
Did
what
you
happened.
misspell Nakara's name again? No, you didn't. Okay.
No.
Okay. Someone in chat was like Nakara. I'm like, what? No.
I do have to ask. I gotta ask Shiver. Why is your bath so cold?
I don't think Shiver noticed yet.
Shiver bath.
Your name is Shiver Bath.
I've been called worse.
Yeah.
In less.
Yeah. Since none of us are avocados, let's
speak for yourself.
Well, none of us. Like none of us relay folk are.
What do you mean we, white man? Come on.
None of us. None of the important. I mean, none of the
actual news reporters in the room right now.
Yes, which one of
or
us.
Even if we were in it, we'd be screwed anyway because we'd be like, "Oh, there's so much I can't tell you."
On the one hand, I really want to be avocado because I really want to try out Star Marine. On the other hand, I'm really glad I'm not an avocado because I wouldn't know what I could say or can't say anymore because I can barely keep all the knowledge that's in my head. I wouldn't be able to separate the two.
Well, and on top of that, you guys are all under so much NDAs, more NDAs than any avocado, because every time you go to any kind of event near CIG, you guys get a tour, and so you always get like this super secret, juicy information. Like at this point, they have seen like the testicles of the
nude male.
Yeah,
the nude male. Yes, they've. Or I was going to say.
I wish that guy would stop giving tours.
Wait, why is Board Gamer giving tours of the of
Okay, so let's talk about the week's happenings. Now, 2.6 is still being tested by the avocados. On Thursday, they said they were looking to have a wider PTU release in the next few days. That was not Thursday or Friday. It's clearly not Saturday, or unless they're going to do something really weird. So probably Monday or Tuesday, maybe. We'll see.
It also is looking incredibly unlikely that 2.6 will drop on the 16th. Mostly because, and I'm gonna say, mostly because it's unlikely that they can get the issues that they have resolved enough to go to live in less than a week.
Well, here's a question. When does CIG go on their vacation? Is the 16th the last day of work, or does the last day of work on the 19th?
I think a lot of their employees will leave the week sometime during the following week, because a lot of them aren't from wherever they are.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I mean, like, because they said they're coming back on the 12th, like the first ATV coming back is the 12th, so that means like they have the first week of January off, and because like Christmas isn't until the 23rd. Okay, so underscore. I tried to ask you this last night, underscore, but you had gone to bed. So 23rd is the last official day of work. So even if they don't release it on the 16th, then they still have a chance to release it before the break. So
I wasn't really sure if they were working that week because they don't have an ATV or it sounds like they don't have an ATV or an RTV planned for that week. So
I don't think the community team would be planning on it just because they've got so much work to do with this live stream, which we should talk about soon.
We should.
What might do that, like what they've done a couple of years before and do the bloopers, pre-recorded bloopers from other episodes.
They're back on the 2nd. They've got 1 week.
Oh, yeah, they got 1 week. Okay, that's unusual because usually they have 2 weeks off from the holidays. At least last year they did.
All I know is I am still predicting 2.6 and 3.0 to PTU on the 16th. Personally,
you've adopted your shtick, hey?
This is my hill. This is my hill.
Yeah.
I'm prepared to die on it.
Well, yeah, I've got to stay on the damn hill.
He's a good Roman. He's going to fall on his sword when he's ready.
Shiver is on that hill with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shiver.
Yeah.
We can't have both of you die. You're the only ones who know how to stream.
Gord, don't try to talk him out of it. They're so deep at this point. It's not even like. It's not even. They don't even believe it themselves. It's just a mantra that they keep whispering into their own ears. Like
I would like to reiterate for the rest of the Star Citizen community here. I don't agree with that at all.
I don't either. But we're saying, Nakara. That's the thing.
3.0 is this year. 3.0 is this year. Come on, everybody! We all believe and clap our hands. No, that's fairies.
However, I do disagree with most of the people who were on the captain's table last week who thought it would be June for 3.0. I think that's not that far off.
Just ridiculous.
Well, the thing is that a lot of people, I don't think, understand that they've been working on both patches at the same time. So I think 3.0's had work going on it since August. So
I don't doubt it, but 3.0 is such a huge patch.
It's gigantic.
I think it would be silly to underestimate the amount of time it's going to take to test it. So like May or June is a pessimistic in my point of view. It's a very pessimistic view of me, but I'd rather be a pessimist and make sure the community is with me and to a degree saying, hey, it's going to be in June. So they all prepare in June. So when CIG is like in April or March, be like 3.0, then everyone's going to be like, oh, what hype, run around with your hype trains out because it's, rock out with your cock out because it's time for 3.0. Like that's what I'm hoping is that if we do that, then it'll be a nice surprise, a surprise party for everyone that we get 3.0 earlier.
I think my problem with that thinking.
I'm going to take a.
Go ahead,
Can I take one step outside reality for a moment?
Sure.
Can you imagine how ridiculous it would be? Like how much the community would explode if they're just next week they're like, okay, so this is the holiday live stream. We actually don't really want to show you anything, but we just want to say 2.6 and 3.0 are live. Go. Do it.
Oh,
Play.
That would feel amazing.
David
Stop touching yourself.
Do you know how vindicated I would feel?
David would be unavailable because he would just be continuously.
No.
Anyway,
I would not be unavailable. I would be on a 12-hour stream. That instant, just looking at the camera, saying, "Hey, hey, I told you so. Hey, guess what? I told you so.
You really would do that. You actually would.
Yep. That's the problem.
So I do want to mention too. I think the huge key here for CIG, and I don't know if they're going to pull it off, and they've been super freaking quiet about it. I think they have to show the Squadron 42 vertical slice.
I don't know
I
if
think they have to.
They have to, but I don't think that. I don't. From what they've told us, and I've been taking the approach of saying absolutely
in a half months.
letter of the law when they say it in there, because their announcement, they buried the announcement in the weekly newsletter. It wasn't the top of the list. It wasn't like a big, hey, check this out. It was like in the middle to the bottom of the newsletter, where they're like, they gave the date and the time of it and what they were going to be talking about and showing.
Oh,
and none of that
said what they're showing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now,
well,
here's the
They
thing.
say anything about Squadron 42.
They could just be planning to surprise people, because the last time they told people things were going to happen.
It could not be ready yet. That's the thing. Is it could? I mean, remember, it was up to 2 days before it actually launched in CitizenCon that they actually they made a decision.
We were promised two things at the beginning of this year, or a long time ago. We were promised 3.0, and we were promised Squadron 42. Now, we all know Squadron 42 has moved its release date to next year, but we do need to see either 3.0 on PTU for people to play, or that Squadron 42 vertical slice. Because otherwise, I mean, 2.6 is great. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for Star Marine. I can't wait for some updated Arena Commander stuff. That is not enough. If all we get in this year, in 2016, is 2.0 to 2.6...
To be fair, 2.0 launched in 2015.
It launched last year. Yeah, we got some upgrades to 2.0 and 2.6. I don't think that is going to be enough for the community. I think that will seriously depress people going into next year.
So I gotta take a moment here, because I think a lot of people don't read the newsletter. For those who don't, holiday live stream next Friday, December 16th, 11 a.m. Pacific time, which is CIG time. It starts
7 p.m. GMT.
Yep, 7 p.m. GMT. Expect to see 2.6 gameplay and features, a friendly international competition, and more details about an alien race, as well as a new concept ship and details on our upcoming holiday promotions. I think they're just hiding a surprise. That's my.
What if the details on the alien race is details on the Vanduul extracted from the Squadron 42 vertical slice? Maybe.
I mean, I think I don't remember if it's. I don't remember who I talked about this. I think it was a relay member and on the captain's table. But I'm hesitant to believe that we're going to see the vertical slice, only because the vertical slice that they told us about was between 1 and 1.5 hours long.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So unless they plan on like ending their stream and having it go from like 11 to 12, and then have the vertical slice go from 12 to like 1:30, that's a 2.5 hour live stream. They usually only do about an hour and a half.
Paul, I remember this. I remember this vividly because I transcribed this son of a bitch of a thing.
Yeah.
But
I remember you transcribing it.
The holiday live stream right before the site that shall not be named started. That was 4.5 hours long.
Yeah, but that was also 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Because since then they've done their best to shorten their time, because CIG has been under the there's a lot of things CIG's done. They've hired an actual marketing person to actually handle their marketing, to kind of cohesive to coordinate people like the community managers and the community team to make them work a little bit better. They've shortened their times for all of their videos, and they've done their best to try to be more professional in all of their work. Now, trying and succeeding, are two things. They're in the process of doing so, but they understand themselves that they need to start cleaning up their images. No longer a gritty indie game that's trying to change things to being more of a AAA developer that's making waves. And as a result, at a certain point, when you have they've not said how long the live stream is. That's true. That's pretty fair. But I don't.
And not only that, they've also said it's going to be much less formal and more almost RTV-ish. It sounds like than their
holiday live streams have always been more. More.
Yeah. They've always had just like a panel of people, and just people come in and talk about stuff, and they just talk, right?
Was it last year that that Chris accidentally showed off the Skype information live on the channel? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that shows you how informal it is.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
Wonder how many calls they got.
People got called. They got called live on stream a couple times by a couple people.
Oh, there was a guy who rang up at the end called Half-Life 3 Confirmed as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I gotta.
Someday that game will actually get confirmed. There will be a ripple that goes through the entire gaming community.
I gotta.
Valve, you cheeky bastards.
Sorry.
By the way,
Nightbot is active for some reason.
People get annoyed about how much hype CIG builds. What about Valve? They've been building hype for like a decade for this game that is just like
that's never coming out.
It's like mythological. I don't understand why it would never be made.
When historians look back at this time, they're going to look at the myth of 3. It'll be the myth of 3, and it'll be this epic myth that people have coalesced through old internet forums and being like, they believe that there is this god called Half-Life 3. That 3 was some sort of magical number, and that no one could, in the gaming community, no one could actually achieve 3, because if you achieve 3, it would require some sort of sacrifice to the gods. And,
I have a question, though. Fallout 4.
Yeah.
There was almost no hype building for Fallout 4, right? It was just, oh hey, it's gonna launch in 3 weeks.
They didn't have to though.
But they wouldn't have to for Half-Life 3 either.
They wouldn't have to for Half-Life 3.
They'd just be like, here you go, here's the game. Like, what was it, like 4 months between the announcement for Fallout 4 and the release?
Yeah, but let's be honest. It's not like CIG are gonna have to hype the holiday stream either. People are gonna watch that no matter what.
Well, and then the advantage is that they know that to a degree, they probably shouldn't hype the live stream, even if they were planning on showing off the vertical slice, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And
they got burned with people staying up or calling off out of work and that kind of stuff, expecting something, and then they didn't, and they got pissed off because they their own money.
They got a lot of flack for that for CitizenCon because they didn't tell us until at CitizenCon that
they knew 2 days before that they weren't going to do it, and people had literally stayed up and ruined their sleep schedule or took days off of work so they could.
Because everyone was waiting for the Squadron 42 release date, right? Like
that was the other thing. Yeah.
No.
I think a lot of us.
I wanted to see Star Marine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people thought that they were either going to show Star Marine, that they were going to. They definitely said they were going to show Squadron 42.
Yep.
They also said that. They were going to show off 3.0. So there's like a lot of content they were going to show off. And so a lot of people came in expecting that content and got a little bit of 3.0.
Yeah.
And
hey, what we got of 3.0 was pretty damn good looking.
It was good. It was amazing.
Flint, me too. We're both burning vacation days that day.
I'm
not.
Something.
I'm going to take that day off.
It's my last day of work. I can't do that.
We used to randomly live stream all day.
Yeah.
You can't, eh? That sucks.
Yeah, no, because it's like the last day of work. So I could take it off, but I'd get yelled at because everyone in my, I'm junior in terms of my staffing. So as a result, if I took it off, I'd get yelled at, even because all of the senior people will take it off, even though it's a minimum day for work. So it's like I'm getting off at 1:30 or 1:20 is my time off. But the live stream's at 11 a.m. So luckily, though, I think the way that everything works out, that the live stream starts during one of my long breaks, like between I've got a period and then I've got a lunch. So I actually have a chance to watch it at least a little bit of it before it goes over.
And keep in mind, if Tony Zervek gets on there, it's got to be at least 4 or 5 hours.
Man,
that is still Zervek. Tony, Zervek.
That is still one of my most, I want to interview Tony someday, and I just want to ask, just one question and let him go. That I would give so much to interview him,
Tony, I have one question for you. How Subsumption go?
Yeah, basically, yes.
How Subsumption, yes.
And after an hour of answer, we know more about Star Citizen than we do now. Yep. We will have more information from that one answer than all of the rest of the knowledge was Star Citizen.
I'm still a proponent of taking Tony Zervek, Sean Tracy, Chris Roberts, or Aaron Roberts, I should say, and Brian Chambers all into a room. Just put them in a room, put a camera on, and have it live streamed, and that's it. And just have them sit there and talk Star Citizen. We would learn everything we'd ever want to know about the project. We'd learn about the manufacturer that makes the soles of the boots of the spacesuits that you use, and detail in their whole entire history. Like we would want them to shut up after 6 hours, but that's
what they should do for launch day. They should get all the heads of all of the studios together, lock them in a room, and then just film them talking about the game.
Well, we still have, I can't wait for that documentary. Are we gonna transcribe the documentary?
Yes.
No.
It'll be like 48 hours long.
Besides, they have a professional. Aren't they doing isn't a professional company coming in to make the documentary? Yeah. So they should have their own captioning people.
I think their own captioning people, quite frankly, are Relay.
Well, no. I mean, like, they have a professional outside company that's coming in.
Relay.
Like a documentary making company. Are you guys the ones making the documentary? Is that what's going on?
Yep. Yeah. It's a little known secret. No. I mean, I don't know if you know, but
do you want rumors? Because that's how rumors get started.
I love rumors.
Go to Reddit right now, people. Go to Reddit right now. Relay confirmed God. Documentary. Relay confirmed shills. Run to the hills with that.
There's always been the rumors that we're being paid by CIG. So.
Are you kidding me? The amount of times that everyone who's ever done any community content for Star Citizen has been called a shill is too damn high.
Yep. Yep.
I swear to God, every single person I've ever had on the Astro Pub on the captain's table has been called a shill.
Yep.
So you're in good company when it comes to that.
Nakar has actually been called a CIG employee by a number of outlets. Yeah.
The media apparently thinks I work for them.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Ugh. Just so you know, we do not receive anything at all from CIG.
In fact, I don't think anyone in the community really does, except for a handful of live streamers, and they usually receive it from the actual employees, not from the company itself. The only exception would be when they went out to go stream at their sites, and that was it.
Which we have not done.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
We don't even.
No, they want people who are good at the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someday they'll get people that know about the game.
That's a problem right there. You also said Torque's good at the game. That's another problem right there. I love you, Torque.
Yeah.
By the way, if anyone wanted a funding update,
of course,
CIG only needs to make $2.5 million now to break their record for 2015.
Can I say something about that real quick?
Yep.
The only way they're going to make $2.5 million is if they do that vertical slice.
No, the holiday sale will do it, no problem, guaranteed.
Well, I don't know because
Guaranteed.
it depends on what they're selling, and the problem is that the community, while stable, is still kind of shaky when it comes, because I get this question all the time on my regular broadcasts. People come in and being like, how do you feel that they're selling another concept ship when everything's being pushed back? Like the overall feeling of the community going forward, and I think it's an undercurrent. It's not like a vocal minority thing. It's more of an undercurrent of people being like, well, concerned about the game is, why are you selling us ships when we still don't have features? And I think that mentality is going to continue to build and build and build.
Especially
and I think
what just happened.
Sorry, go ahead.
Especially with what just happened with Pebble.
What?
Have you heard of Pebble?
Oh yeah, they got bought by Fitbit.
But they were selling new smartphones and promising and giving people pre-orders for new smartphones, and they even had a Kickstarter for new, or not smartphones, but smart watches or whatever. And then with no indication, they folded. Like right now, seeing one of the supposedly most successful Kickstarters out there fold might tamper people's willingness to spend, unless we see the vertical slice or 3.0. I don't think
And
2.6 is going to do it.
When they
Okay,
don't
so
show something,
Nakara.
people get really panicked. But when they do show something, people get really hyped. So
Yes.
that would be the other thing, is that if they actually show something, they'll make 4 million. If they show a vertical slice of Squadron 42, it'll be 4 million before the end of the year. I almost can guarantee that, just because of the amount of pre-orders for Squadron 42. The trailer will go around, people will watch it, it'll hype up, and the sale. I mean, if they do any kind of sale in conjunction with it, saying, "Hey, Squadron 42 is $35," or something like that, then boom, they would kill that number in weeks.
Nakara?
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just so I actually did a prediction on the end of the year funding before the anniversary live stream, and I got shot down to pieces. I was like, oh no, they'll make about I figured about $37.5 million this year, which is, I guess they'd need to make another $4 before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And at that point, that was before the holiday live stream made almost $7 million, so they'd only made like, I don't know, 26 or something before when I made my prediction.
Hey, you just said only 26, which is ridiculous, but
And everyone's like, no, they're totally screwed. They're only going to make like a couple $100,000 or maybe 2 million before the end of the year. They're totally done. This is all over with. And then they made $7 million in 10 days. And it's like, yeah, I understand that people keep saying that, but what I've seen from actually looking at the data is that's not what happens ever. It never has happened.
And I don't. The problem is that you also had a huge hype behind the holiday sale. You had all of the ships, and the anniversary sale. They had all the ships on sale, and they don't do that for holiday sale. They have specific ships that are on sale. They never do the whole range again, and they don't do the discount packages, and they don't sell the capital ships. At least
they did do. They did do a discount
year.
package at. They did do a discount package last year for the holiday sale.
Yeah, but the year before that they did.
No,
the reason why they did the discount package at the holiday sale is because they were planning on splitting the packages in January.
Yeah.
That was their concept. So they wanted to have a chance for people to grab it.
But
one of the things I really want to know.
One of the things that you need to take into consideration, though, is there is going to be a new concept ship in the holiday live stream. That almost guarantees them at least $1 million right there.
Also, it depends on the ship, though. It also depends on the price tag.
Only one concept ship has ever made less than $1 million,
and that was the
Starliner. The Starliner.
Genesis.
That was it.
Everything
so
else...
unless they're like, here's a like unicycle.
Well, I've heard two rumors, and I've heard the main rumor that I've heard is that it's an anvil ship, and that it could be an anvil ship that's designed to be a competitor to the Dragonfly. And the other rumor that I've heard is that it's the 600, the Origin 600 series. And the thing is that if it's an Anvil Dragonfly equivalent, we may not have as much hype, but it will be an LTI token. And if it's a 600 series, you may actually have more hype for that, just because it'll be between a Freelancer and a Connie style size.
It'll also be like $350, so it will generate an enormous amount of money.
Yeah,
a lot of people will melt.
I'm not sure it's going to be a large ship, though.
Well,
they've been selling
600.
plenty of large ships recently. They need to sell a smaller ship if they want to get some more interest.
We didn't get a direct answer on this, but it sounded from Ben when we had him on last weekend that the Origin 600 isn't soon. That was the feeling I got from him.
Yeah, because what they said, I think, was on the reverse the verse, is what people were telling me, was that they went the Anvil vroom vroom, or something like that. There's some sort of mention about Anvil vroom vroom, which
Anvil
is like
motorcycle.
but that's for what I think.
Chris Smith
is going to work on between the F8 Lightning, which he's working on now, and the 300 series rework.
Yeah.
And the question I have is the 300 series rework. We know they're going to be reworking them.
Yep.
Are they going to do the 600 first and use that as the base, like they did with Connie? Yeah. So,
probably.
But he's not set to work on that. So who are they getting to work on the 600?
Christmas isn't the only.
No, not at all.
And the other artist is working on the Cutlass, but the Cutlass is almost done.
Yes.
Yeah, it is very
cool. He's working on the Phoenix after that. So it would tell me if the I forgot his name at the top of my head, and I'm terrible with it.
Josh Coons.
Josh Coons. So if Josh Coons is working on the Phoenix update, my guess is that he would also be working on the 600 update, which is probably the reason why he's a little bit further out. because they want to make sure that the Phoenix looks good, and they'll use the Phoenix as a basis for the 600, and the 600 will be then the model for the rest of the Origin series, like re-updates to the M50 and the 300.
Exactly.
No,
I think
not
you got it nailed.
confirmed for the M50, but for the 300.
It sounds like for the M50 they would mostly do like it doesn't. From what they were saying, it doesn't sound like it needs a rework, but they just need to update textures and stuff. Like so, what they just did, the
interiors need to change around too because of the new cargo system.
And also, what Chris Smith just did with the Hornet, that's what you'll see with the M50.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to take a second and thank everybody who's watching us. We are at 129 viewers, which is extremely high for our Saturday.
You're welcome. You're
podcast.
welcome.
And thank you, Paul, very much
for
bringing all your viewers.
No one shows up for me.
So I honestly, I'm willing to bet my reputation on it. I can basically guarantee that unless they just don't do the holiday sale or the holiday live stream, they are going to get to that level. For funding this year, which I mean, sure, for all of the people that they, it's one of the hard things I've talked about is the trying to secure financing for things because they're crowdfunded and they have to demonstrate that they can make money like consistently.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure the bank looks at them like, really?
That's actually said that. It's like they have to talk to the bank, and when they talk to the bank, they have to prove that they're viable. And one of the ways they do that is they show them how much money
they
they're
talked
making.
about that a bit with the LA office when they moved to the LA office, that they had to show that they can make money before they lease it.
Now, I'm also fairly sure that what they've done is they've taken like a portion of the funds that come in every year and they put it away towards a loan, and they've taken a loan out so that they can have cash on hand and as well as like paying for rent and stuff like that in the long term. So the collateral or the part of the money that's coming in from backers is going to pay off that loan, so that they have debt, which is important in business. So before, I'm sure this is going to get misquoted by everyone and who hates Star Citizen and all that kind of stuff, but the idea is that more than likely they have some debt accrued intentionally because they want to be able to take loans out and have the ability to get lines of credit and stuff like that. So they can
prove their ability to pay back credit, right? So,
they just want to have good credit. That's all they want.
Yeah.
So I want to let everyone know.
They've actually said before that they have been doing that. So I mean.
Yeah. I want to let everyone know there is a form, a Google form that you can ask questions with. We decided to be a little bit more fancy than questions in the chat, so you don't have to fill up question with your chats or chat with your questions, whatever. Type !question to get the link, then go there and submit a question, and we're gonna start answering some questions. So ask us
can I take
questions.
just a moment here?
Of course, yes. I just wanted to get people asking us stuff.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say congratulations and thank you to Fourth Oracle and Zane and David.
Nope.
For great articles this week. Everyone's articles were very well received. Everyone was very happy that we had like 5 articles in our launch week. It went very well. And we have at least 1 planned for the upcoming week, probably 2, maybe 3. So
we got a lot of stuff coming. And I believe Fiction is going to start up next week as well on Wednesday. I think Prop Master is working on something, and if not him,
that's the rumor.
I've got a short thing that'll go up. We'll see what happens. But keep in mind, if you'd like to write for us fiction or articles, or if you'd like to transcribe, send us a message. Contact us.
We will dig into your history, your life, and everything to make sure that you are the best person in the world.
They won't.
It's true.
They won't. They'll just get drunk and look at your post history and be like, he's just reposting shit posting. Fuck you.
Hey,
I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
Super drunk. And they're like, Paul, you're cool. You're fucking them. You're cool. You're on. Whatever. I don't give a fuck.
I'm not allowed to do that anymore because every time I look through their history, I was like, no, he can't spell your and you are. No, reject. And they were like, oh, you can't do that because everyone on the internet gets that wrong. And I was like, I don't care. Standards.
Hey, I have that same standard, Shiver. That same standard.
I'm going to disappear for 30 seconds. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Now that Nakar is gone, we can talk about what a fine gentleman he is.
Fantastic man.
I call him Canada Man behind his back.
And to his
Captain
face.
Canada.
Captain Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got like a few questions here. Not many. Ask us your questions. But Star Hunter asks, any comment on the problems reported at Crytek?
My comment is, welcome to CIG Frankfurt. Your employees go over here. I believe HR will take your form so long as you're a German citizen or have a German work permit. And the orientation process is about 2 weeks. Make sure you come onto the live streams and hang out with people like us here. Yeah, we're welcome. You're welcome. We're glad to have you here at CIG Frankfurt.
Shiver, any comment?
No, I've got nothing yet. I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen. We've just heard that they haven't been paid again for 3 months, and I think the Bulgarian office confirmed that with an independent, well, I say independent, a separate gaming news site. So we'll see. We'll see.
So what was the question?
Any comment?
So what do you think of that there, Crytek not paying their employees for like months on end again?
What he said.
I think it's legit, first of all. And I think that CIG is about to hire a lot of people.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's what...
No, I 100% agree.
That's what we're all going to say.
Yeah, no, it's completely reasonable and feasible because they had this problem before and they had to take a massive loan out to pay their... They even pay their bills, and now they're...
It's unfortunate. Crytek did some great things, but let's hope... I just really hope that CIG can hire as many of them as possible, and if not CIG, someone, because they're all amazing and what they do is great, and I don't want to see anyone go without jobs.
Now, I will say this, is that, it sucks when you lose your jobs, especially, but it sucks worse that they're not getting paid.
Yeah.
You know, and if you are a Crytek employee right now and you're not getting paid, I'm not joking when I say look at CIG Frankfurt. Like, they're hiring.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're still
Always.
hiring. And if you've been working at CIG or at Crytek for any length of time, you probably know somebody who works there.
Yeah.
So.
And not only that, but there are some job openings that Cloud Imperium has had for years.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They are looking for a lot of people and some very specific people. And most of them have something to do with, we need someone who can do Crytek or do Crygen stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are other games like there, like the Mech Warrior team. The Kingdom Come Deliverance. The Mech Warrior team is making Mech Warrior 5 that they and they're using CryEngine. And Miscreate is a 15-person dev team, which I don't know if they're hiring or not. They might be. They're using CryEngine. There's a couple different cry teams out there who could use your talent. So it sucks you're not getting paid. Please find other jobs, and there are plenty of jobs out there for you because we want your talents to be used throughout the industry.
Yeah.
And get paid so you can feed your families.
In the unlikely event that there actually is any of those Crytek employees watching right now, there's 1 animator position, 2 art positions, 8 engineering positions, and 2 design positions open in Frankfurt right now.
Yeah.
They will hire you.
Have room.
We'll get.
So Fastcart asks, I said how I was from the Bean game last night. How is Mrs. Eris? My girlfriend, Mrs. Eris, ate a number of beans, including one that was skunk, and that one kind of took her out. It skunks. I smelt it. It was bad. I think she's okay. She's still at work right now. She should be getting home shortly after this podcast ends. Zaith asks, or says, it was said that the F8 will not be for sale. Is this still the case? Not sure.
Ben did, I think you guys interviewed him at
No.
some point.
Nope.
Wednesday.
I
think it was.
Or he said that the F8 was originally designed as being like a late game item and no longer is it a late game item in Squadron 42.
Yeah.
So they were playing around with the idea of selling it.
I kind of
do know that there is concept. So
basically what happened was we spoiled it.
No, we did.
Well, not I relay.
Yes.
But when the big leak happened, I get the sneaking suspicion that they really wanted it to be a surprise in Squadron 42, and now it wasn't. So I think they just went, "Oh, we'll have a different surprise."
Yeah.
And
I'm sure there will be a number of
surprises.
surprises.
The Lightning anymore. Now there's going to be a huge freaking rigmarole if they do sell it, though.
Tomato asks, how did you guys like the National Geographic Mars series so far, if you've seen it?
Haven't
seen
watched it because it's
There's a
hard to
National
find
Geographic Mars series.
This is the first
Yeah,
time hearing of it
usually.
as well.
Oh, what? I
I'm-
like this to you,
I'm
David.
waiting to watch it until I can binge on it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
either I have to wait for it to either go on Netflix, Hulu, or in a site that I can like watch it from, like spend like 6 hours and watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
But-
I want to
Yeah.
let people know what this is. It's kind of cool. They're actually mixing a fictional story about the first mission to Mars, I believe, with like a real world current time documentary about the efforts to do that. So they talk to people like Elon Musk and Neil deGrasse Tyson and I think Bill Nye. And
It's not the first time
people.
they've done that. It's not the first time they've done that. They've actually did one a couple years ago. They did something similar where they had them step on, or they had a mission to Mars, and then they had like talking. They talked about it, but it was kind of like a documentary with like a recreation, and like they were drilling, and then their drills broke, and then it turns out that the Chinese were sending a mission up to try to find water, and their drill hit bad, like no light. They hit like contaminated water, like acid deposits or something like that. So, and it was a probe. So the team was like, yeah, we can go to the Chinese probe and steal their drill and use that drill to help us drill. And it was all about peace, love, and understanding in the international space community. But it was also talking about like how difficult Mars missions would be, and the challenges that would rise, and the kind of things that you have to deal with for a 2-year journey like that. So,
I do want to mention, and I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but I do have a lot of respect for Elon Musk, because he's like, they're like, well, how are you going to protect these people that you're going to send to Mars? And he's like, people are going to die, because that's just how it works. You can't
People always die.
You can't do that without people dying. It's
Mhm.
not possible.
yeah,
Somebody's
people think,
From
Well,
space, we did not.
Somebody's helmet is going to break, and they're going to suffocate, and it's one of those things. It's just how that
It's
kind of
horrible.
exploration works.
but people died on every exploration mission ever.
Mm-hmm.
People died on the way to the moon. Like, Russians and Americans died in space, or not in space, or on the edge of space, or in testing. It's a dangerous job when you're dealing with this much explosives, vacuum, and
Yep.
literally environments which are designed to kill you. So,
Where are we? Questions. Brivals asks, do you think CIG will offer Warbond versions of ships during the holiday live stream? Probably.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that money, yo.
I had a big argument with a few people about this, but remember that whole part where we talked about how they had to have steady financing in order to keep their financial picture looking rosy?
Yeah.
This is one of the things they have to do. And I mean, you can argue about it all the time and say it's wrong or say they shouldn't do it, but they were noticing, like I have noticed, that the concept sales were making less and less and less and less money over time.
People just
and-
melt now.
People were just melting, and so they found a solution to it. You don't have to buy that ship for that much money with fresh funds, but they're giving people the option because they need to have the steady funding.
Yep.
So
They need new
sense.
money, not just recycled money. Because if you melt your ship, it's great. Oh, I got myself a merchantman by melting all my ships. Well, you didn't really give anything new to CIG, did you? Which, again, you don't have to. Don't get an Aurora, you're good. But CIG do want that funding because that's how they build the game.
And now I do think it's a little, and this is just what I've experienced, and I think I don't know if the community is with me or not, or I would like to think there's some people in there like this, but they wouldn't have to do the Warbond versions if they were further along in development. Like,
No, it's true.
the straight up problem is that they have delayed. And I personally am not thinking that because of the amount of work and the amount of stuff that still needs to get done, we're probably not going to see Star Citizen release into a full live version until 2020. So, and then to a lot of people, it looks like it's 2016, that's 4 years away. It's like Final Fantasy 15 took 10 years to make. And we didn't see it from the very beginning to today. It was, a long road. That we only saw the last maybe year of. So be prepared for this shit to go long, and as a result, be prepared that CIG is going to have to delay more features. But if they delay more features, they're going to have to start doing some of these shady business, which I don't like. I think it's kind of a shady business deal myself. It's saying we're going to give discounts because it sends the wrong message. It sends the message that we're desperate for money when we know they shouldn't be. But I know why, but I'm thinking about this in the broader scheme of things.
I don't think they're desperate for money. They're just trying to maintain that level of funding that they already have.
The thing is, you look at a lot of the other games that have crowdfunded for 500,000, $1 million, $2 million, and like, I mean, sure, Elite Dangerous came out, and then guess what they did to get the funding that they needed, or to make the game that they needed? They cut personal servers, they cut a number of things, and then they went and did an Xbox port.
Yeah. Well, and they also the
Xbox port got the money, though. That's the thing.
Oh, I know.
And they also massively overcharged for an expansion, and then didn't really be clear about what was in it.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, CIG needs to make money somehow, like anyone does. I mean, keep in mind, Elite Dangerous, to be honest, is kind of small compared to Star Citizen, but everything is kind of small compared to Star Citizen. The game that they're making is basically going to be the largest game ever made, and they're making it on less of a budget than Destiny, less of a budget than GTA 5. Like, it's...
Yep.
Okay, like, the best way of looking at this is... people say, well, you look at WoW's funding in 2000 and for in its development, but the answer is that you can't look at like WoW's development from when it began to when it released. You have to look at WoW's cost from the development to today. How much money has it cost over the last 15, 20 years it's been in development? That's how much money Star Citizen will need at the end of the day if it's going to be a MMO that's supposed to be revolutionary, like revolutionizing MMOs.
And keep in mind, Star Citizen isn't going to have a monthly cost.
No, they won't have a standard monthly income. So
they need as much of a war chest as possible.
Of course they do. The other thing that's really hard with that is Blizzard has come out and said they have enough money. They have been successful enough as a company since their inception that they have never set production budgets. So no one knows what it is.
Yeah.
No one knows how much WoW costs because Blizzard didn't set a budget for it.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing.
They just spend however much money they need to make the game, and then that's how much money they needed.
Blizzard has fuck you money, like because they're Blizzard Activision. Like they're literally
they are money.
They are money. They all they have to do is make a tiny little like pet, and they make $1 million. Like I've talked with Blizzard employees who are in charge of these kind of things, and they basically they tell me we print money. We print money. We can take a shit and turn it into a 3D pixelated version as a rare companion item, and people will spend millions of dollars to get that little pixelated shit because we can. Now we don't want to abuse it, but at the same time, we'd have no problem with funding. Star Citizen's a completely different ballgame. They have to fight for every single person they get in from now on. That's the problem. Now, at the same time, I feel uncomfortable about it because to me, it feels like they're pushing sales, and that doesn't feel right to me. Because at the end of the day, what the game should be is resting on its merits, and right now, its merits aren't there. So when people are concerned about like the sales and are like, well, why do they want more money? Why are you saying buy more, buy? What? Show me before I can buy. I think the answer is you have to vote with your wallet. And then before you start, before anything, if you want to see this kind of change happen, you're going to have to actually sit down and vote for your wallet. The problem is that what CIG is getting is majority of backers don't care. Well, majority of the backers we're in this for the long run. We're going to pay for it. So I think in reality, they're minority. The people who are saying, well, I'm concerned about this in the long run because of just look at the numbers.
What I wanted to bring this up because I'm watching chat, and that's the scary thing to do.
Never do that.
So a lot of people are saying, well, what happened to the fact that they should have enough money to finish the game? Why do they need new money? They now they need $10 million every month or it's all over. No. Okay.
Not even
Here's
close.
Here's the deal, right? If they had no more money today, I guarantee you they would finish the game. Now, it might be finished in a year, and they would they would come out with some version of it that is not what they were looking for. And they would launch it so that they could continue development, right? Makes sense. Now, do they need $10 million a month to continue development? No, they haven't made $10 million a month ever, I don't think. They need about an average of, looks like about $2 million a month. Now, do they need that money? Well, it helps them, again, with their creditors. It helps them.
Remember that probably loan that they have? They probably have a massive business loan because they have massive amounts of money.
They want to keep expanding. They are expanding all of their offices. They're hiring more people because they are not...
A business needs money to keep going.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, CIG aren't trying to just make one game here. They're trying to build a company to build the game.
But they're building an IP, which is even harder than building a company because it's like trying to build Mass Effect from the ground up or trying to build WoW from the Warcraft series from the ground up is what they're doing. They're essentially saying this is going to be an IP, which we know in 10, 20 years, there'll be 17 different games made by 4 different developers over the course, all under the Cloud Imperium games or being marketed to Microsoft, to Sony. Like we'll see Star Marine Deluxe Tactical Edition 4, or whatever. Like that's their vision down the road. They're building a universe that they can eventually make money off of. Like I wouldn't doubt seeing ports of Squadron 42, games based off of the universe that have nothing to do with the military. Like I could easily see like a pirate, like an Assassin's Creed Black Flag style like game with the Star Citizen universe. Easily see first-person shooter games.
But they have
based off of it.
To do that. They have to get the first one right.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. Like the first one has to be really good.
Yep.
I mean that's the issue here. And not only that, but it's like people seem to misunderstand. Like I think they do have a huge war chest right now. I think they do have a lot of money. But the thing is, in order to impress your creditors, you have to actually show that you can continue to make money. Or they will come to you and go, you have this loan, you have to pay it off right now because your income stops. So come on, pony up. And they don't want to do that because
and keep in mind, that's what publishers exist for. Normally, it's the publisher that hands money out to the developers as they meet goals and says, okay, to get this money, you got to show me something. If you want to keep doing stuff, you got to show me some money. And the reason CIG need money from us is because essentially we are their publishers. We're the ones that are giving them the money to keep punching the little things. Keep tapping away.
The other point I want to give...
Yeah. To say this conversation doesn't matter in the long run. Oh, I'll let you go.
The last thing I wanted to say is that people are very upset with them for selling ships, and I'm like, well, it's something I've always
they're upset for not selling ships too.
It's always mystified me because it's like even if you take it as selling ships, I don't understand why you're upset. It's not like they're forcing you to buy them. It's not like they're coming to your house, pointing a gun at your head and saying, if you don't buy this ship, I'm going to shoot you in the face. Like
every single ship has a disclaimer at the bottom of it saying, you don't need this.
Don't buy this if you don't want to support the game.
All you need is an Aurora. And guess what? Even people who say, well, why are you making me buy a ship? You're not buying the ship. When you buy an Aurora, you're buying the game and you start with an Aurora. Like it's just, that's how you buy the game. Anyway, so Flint,
the other thing...
talking of watching chat, I mean, some of the comments in there, it's like, making money. It's like, well, no, they haven't. That they haven't released a product yet, so they can't be making a net profit.
They're not profits. Yeah, they're all of the money that's coming in is going directly to the paying underscore.
You don't have to be a financial genius. You just have to understand basic economics of. You've got money going out, you need something coming in. It doesn't mean because you've got something coming in, that's not your profit, that's your gross income that you've got to spend to keep the company going. Yeah, strange concept, I know. No one works for free, no one gives you buildings for free, electricity isn't for free.
Relay works for free.
You still have to spend money, though.
Yeah.
So, what I want to talk to people about is that, we did you mentioned the 17 games over the course of decades, all based in the Star Citizen universe. I just wanted to ground that in what we actually have heard from Chris, because he did talk about this a few months ago. Their plan currently is Star Citizen, and then 3 3 episodes of Squadron 42 separated by 2 years each.
Yep.
And then they want to come out with a single player game every year after that.
Yep.
And then I also expect you'll probably see expansions, like formal expansions, to Star Citizen as well.
Yeah. And I would also expect to see ports to the new consoles when they come out, just because, especially when Squadron 42 is released, within a year or two of that release, more than likely we'll see the next generation of consoles, and they'll be powerful enough at least to run Squadron 42 at a reduced rate.
Yeah.
But at the very least, they could easily hire another studio. They could get someone like. There's a couple different studios out there that I can't even think of them. Like Behavior could probably make a port.
Fair enough.
Of Squadron 42, because they already work with them, and they work with consoles and stuff like that. So they could easily hire someone else to make a port for their games while they're still working on other things, so they can release it to the consoles, and that's another source of income to come in. The one thing that I do want to say is that this whole concept about people being upset about the funds is because they haven't released things. I think we're like this close, and then that's the thing, is that at the end of the day, it just doesn't seem like it, because every day seems like an eternity without content. But we're this close in terms of gaming development to seeing the content, the features.
And I hate this statement, but keep in mind, Star Citizen has been in development for, if you want to be ridiculous about it, 4 years, and that's still nothing. If you want
to be realistic about it, probably more like 2.5.
Yeah. That's nothing. Absolutely nothing.
To directly address Martin Miggs, how much money did it cost to make those anime things? Nothing out of the ordinary, because that was made in-house on staff hours. So they didn't have to say, oh, you've made a video, you're on our payroll, have an extra bonus for doing your job.
No.
And not only
That's
that,
not how the world works. How much time was development taken out of? None, because it's a video. It's very easy to make a video compared to making a 64-bit floating point universe. It's a vast difference there.
And there's also,
I know you've got a strong argument there, but please.
Wow, shiver.
We also know that it was made by like one guy. So
yeah.
And Zeus, I completely agree. We've been this close for a year right now, and we've actually seen in the last 6 months, we've actually seen how close we are.
Yeah.
It's and as always, it's like one or two things which are holding everything up from it to be releasing, and that's just game development. That's how it works. Like, we've got all these wonderful things, but our netcodes. I mean, look at Battlefield 4. When Battlefield 4 released, it was horrible, but it was because of its netcode. They fixed the netcode. They introduced essentially the PTU system that we have, which is essentially a test realm ripoff of like the RPTU is ripped off of Blizzard's Test Realm, which is and Battlefield 4's like testing universe was also ripped off of the Test Realm from Blizzard. The concept of having players test it, and they help fix their netcode problems. And Battlefield 4 is probably one of the most successful, well played games in the 21st century.
But when it launched,
from having
it was
worst, it was horrible.
It was
and
ass.
People panned it to Kingdom Come, but it's like since then it has had a very successful relationship with its community and making a lot of money for the company over a long time. So the answer is that we can be pissed and we can be this close and it feels like shit, but we are seeing progression even though it's slow, and we will see it released next year. We will see that major progression next year at the very latest. And then
keep in mind, they're building 2 games at once.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you do need to. Well, I like to point out to people.
They're developing 2 games and maintaining one.
Yeah.
You need to actually listen to what they're saying and actually examine what they're saying. Chris Roberts has said like a dozen times in the past few months, we're not going to put it out until it's good. We won't put it out until it's good. We won't put it out until it's good.
They're not going to do what BF4 did. They're not going to launch and have it be a shitty launch. Because I played BF4 at launch, and I immediately lost interest because it played like shit. It was not bloody playable. You'd shoot at someone, and you'd be dead, and there was no you're hiding behind cover and dead. It was ass. It was ass.
I played the open beta, and I couldn't. I got 2 frames per second because of the netcode issues, and I was like, I'm not buying the game. I never bought the game. I never bought Battlefield 4 because of that, and never played it. So that's the impact it had. But it can still went on. And I will address one more thing. Zeus, I understand, and other people like this, I understand. They went out and said that 2016 was going to be the best year in Star Citizen's history. And I think CIG has learned from that. They are not going to say stupid shit like that anymore. And I like CIG. I have friends who work at CIG. That was in hindsight is always 2020. But that was a stupid statement.
I think there's a reason they got actual marketing people, because the community team exists to hype up the game to the community. Like they exist with us in mind. They're there to be like, guys, this is so cool, and this and this and this, and Chris has no filter. They needed some marketing people to be like, okay, you're gonna say this, is it gonna happen? Because I was really, really hoping for 2016. I still think, we're gonna get 3.0 in a week, so
love it.
I'm not saying a week. I'm halfway on the hill with you.
Do we have any questions? Because we've been on this.
I do actually. Flint asked, if Crytek does up and die, do you think it would behoove CIG to purchase CryEngine? And if they did, do you think it would cause a massive community backlash?
I think it would be to secure that part of their business. It wouldn't surprise me if they're like, hey, Crytek, we'll give you like $1 million for CryEngine.
Well, keep in mind. Keep in mind, at the very beginning of the project, CIG actually paid $1 million or something around that.
It was like $2.5 million.
$2.5 million for straight up the rights to CryEngine. Like CIG can do whatever they want with the engine at all. They've already done that.
Some limits. They can't rejigger it, remarket it, and sell it. They can't do well.
But if they bought,
which is part of the reason why I think they might actually buy CryEngine if they get the opportunity, because then they could sell StarEngine.
And I'm sure there would be people that would be interested in StarEngine.
I don't think they'll buy CryEngine, but I do think they'll purchase whatever rights they can to be able to own. I mean, they kind of own StarEngine all out.
Yeah,
but
that was the $2.5 million deal.
But what they will do
is source code, isn't it?
Yeah, what they'll do is they'll through the breakup of Crytek, if it does break up, when I'm pretty sure it'll break up after this, because this is the fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice.
Yeah,
this is the end of the
fool me 9 times.
Yeah. Well, where are they going to pull the magical money from? The mob at this point? Like it's probably like North Korea will be the only people who are gonna back the CryEngine out of their hole.
Which is sad, because I feel bad for them.
Yeah, it is sad, but the answer is that if CIG was smart in this breakup, they wouldn't buy CryEngine outright, because CryEngine is expensive and they'd have to support the engine in the long run, and that doesn't. They're not an engine company; they're a game company.
Yeah, fair enough.
What they would do is they would negotiate the rights to be able to, kind of similar to how like the Gamebryo engine is Bethesda's the only company that uses Gamebryo. It wasn't invented by them. Yeah. It was a separate engine from a separate company, but that company went tits up years ago. So Bethesda managed to get the right so that they could sell the engine to whoever they wanted, use the engine for whatever game they wanted, which is for Skyrim, I think was the latest one they did that. Yeah. So Skyrim and Fallout 4 both have used Gamebryo engines, and they themselves have been updating it since then. So if they get the idea so that they can change it from the CryEngine to officially calling it the StarEngine in, through this breakup, then I think that would be the best term for them. So that way they don't have to pay any money for releasing future games with CryEngine, or have to deal, like they could actually release the engine to other people who might want to use the engine, and sell the rights to that, because it is going to be a powerful engine with the Star network that they're building. That package would be a very powerful engine for a multiplayer game, any multiplayer game that wants ridiculously high quality standards for visuals. So
yeah, and the procedural, like everything they've done is
the procedural tech. Yeah.
It's just insane.
It's a blueprint. It's a blueprint for the future, which is exactly how CryEngine used to be. The CryEngine, Crysis was just a blueprint game that people would just to show off the engine, how pretty it was. So.
Yep.
So
the other thing is the 64-bit too. Like it's important. I really could foresee it spawning some really cool games.
I'll be right back.
Cool.
Feel free
to so Tilu asks, we know Tony Z's long hair is linked to the release of the subsumption. What's Jake Ross's beard-related goal? And in more generally, what does the Austin studio focus on?
So the Austin studio focuses on live ops and DevOps, as well as a little bit of everything else. A lot of the persistent universe development has taken place there, but I've heard a lot that it's starting to shift a bit to LA. But they kind of do a bit of everything, and they've actually, for a while I thought that they were going to shrink that studio down and maybe close it, but now, if you actually look at the numbers of staffing they had, they're actually growing that studio again, so it's going the other direction. And in terms of Jake Ross's beard, I'm thinking it might be the release of 3.0?
3.0.
I think. Well, I would say the wonders of wireless technology. I will say that hearing the question, I think that what Austin's probably going to be shifting towards is QA and game support.
Yeah.
So in the long run, QAing the persistent universe as well as supporting the servers is going to be where they come from, because I think they have the largest QA team in the US is in Austin, and I think the head of QA is actually in Austin. The head of all of CIG's QA is in Austin.
I know the UK team is big as well, but it's not as large.
No, and they're mostly focused on Squadron 2, UK 2. So,
Martin says in chat that I'm done being a downer. I'll be here to see the launch. Just annoyed that I have no argument for my friends when they point out that the game isn't out yet and it's not scheduled to be out anytime soon. There's Martin, a really easy...
I was gonna say...
Go ahead, Paul.
I was going to say, and I'm with you on that. I have gone from the point of saying, yeah, get the game because when 3.0 comes out, it's going to be amazing, to the point of saying, wait till 3.0 comes out. You have to wait because, like, I can't, in all honesty, suggest buying a game unless you're willing to, and I say, unless you're willing to put up with that it's a promise right now. It's not a guarantee that all this stuff is going to be awesome and going to be out soon. Once 3.0 comes out, and if it's good, my response is yes, buy it. This is a good time to get in. But at the same time, like I can't sit here and say buy this game right now, 100%, because I feel like I'm selling something that I'm not 100% sure in myself.
I disagree personally. For me, it's buy the game. Buy the game, support the company, support what they're doing. Don't play it yet. There's not much to play right now. Try 2.6 when it comes out for Star Marine. Try some Marina Commander, try some the 2.0 universe, and at 3.0, try it again. But you know what? You don't have to like or play the game right now. Support what it might be. But
you don't have to support anything. Wait until you see more content if you want to. But if you want to back the game because you see the potential of the game. Not
for anyone complaining that the game isn't out, keep in mind CIG are creating a AAA single-player game, which on average take between 2 and 3 years. Even Call of Duties, even though they come out every single year, they're done by different studios. They're done by different studios. It takes 3 years to make a AAA single-player game. Do you know how long it takes to make a AAA MMO? Something like World of Warcraft or The Elder Scrolls Online or anything like that. It takes 7 to 10 years to make an MMO. CIG have been working on this for 4 years, technically. Yeah, if you want to give the first year with like 8 people. This is not a long time in game development. The difference is, I mean, Fallout 4 was worked on for what, like
8 years?
8 years? The problem is you only heard about it 4 months before it released. That's what CIG are doing differently. And that's why you should support them. Because they're not saying, here's Fallout 4, it's done, you get to play it, and then everyone says, wait, this is shit, we don't like any of the decisions you made. CIG are saying, here, we're going to show you every single decision we're making this entire bloody time. Oh, you think that things fly differently and fly badly? Let's try and fix that with you. We are able to, in some ways, shape how the game develops. That's the difference. That's what's important. And that's why you should bloody support the game, because it's being made different.
Now, I will say it's not
You don't even need to buy the game if you just want to follow development of a game, because that's another thing that Star Citizen offers, is the much more open look at how a game is being developed, which, let's face it, even if you don't like Star Citizen, you're probably here because you're a gamer. So it's still damn interesting to see how a game is made. So, and you don't even have to pay money for that. You could just sit on the sidelines and watch. It's even that is quite an interesting process.
Yeah, and I do agree that what they said, I think the more that you look at the game and the more you look at the funding and everything else, it is quite obvious that the people who are upset about the game are the very vocal minority of the community. Like, just the fact of the matter is, and the fact of the matter is, we're not looking at numbers that are like, one whale is like, fuck you, all of you little people who aren't buying, I'm going to drop $4 million. No, it's like someone buying $100-$200 ship, which to a lot of people is like, that's insane. But like, people buy $200 like special edition packages of games every year.
I'm being told in
that
chat,
comes with a cat helmet.
I'm being told in chat not to push the game because wait until it's ready, wait until it's there to be played. You know what? I'm just trying to save people money. You buy it now, it's cheaper than it is when it releases. If you bought it 2 years ago when I first started telling people to buy it, it was even cheaper. It was $45 for both Star Citizen and Squadron 42. Now it's $45 for Star Citizen and then an extra $15 for Squadron 42. When Squadron 42 is out, that is going to be it is going to be a full price game that you have to buy on its own, and you have to buy Star Citizen as well. Just buy an Aurora, buy the game, buy it simply, save yourself money.
So I wanted to actually revisit something. So people were asking what Austin is doing right now. So I decided, since I looked at it before, I would look at who they're hiring, right? So this is who they're hiring. They're hiring a cloud solutions architect, a senior server engineer, a DevOps engineer, quality assurance testers, and a game support agent. So you can tell this is a support studio. That's what they're doing. They're doing live ops, DevOps, cloud infrastructure, and game support. That's basically what they're doing.
Their job is to support the MMO in the immediate sense.
Yeah,
but that makes sense because that's also where Austin is also where Blizzard keeps its MMO support for WoW. That's where their support structure for WoW is. So Austin is a goods tech city, and it's mostly a support tech city in that sense for mobile and mobile devices and software and stuff like that. So
they've talked about that too, where they had a big problem early on where they set up in Austin and they're like, okay, we're hiring Crytek developers or CryEngine developers, sorry, and they got no one. There was nobody in Austin for them to hire, and so they eventually went, we need to do something else because there's no one here that can make our game. So they went to LA and then they went to Frankfurt, but I think they've finally realized that the best thing for them to do with Austin is to take the people who are there and hire them and use them to support whatever they can.
So we're basically at the time limit for this show. So yeah, that.
Sorry,
one
guys.
more question.
No, this was.
One more question.
A
We did fuck around for like 10
I
minutes.
need to loo.
Do you think it'll be possible to lure Chris Robertson to another game genre than the Star Citizen universe when this game is done? No.
He did Final
Yes.
Fantasy. He did a fantasy universe at one point, and he did do a hardcore flight sim. He
has said that this is the last game he's ever going to make.
Yep. And I mean, the biggest reason for that is that they're planning this game to be going for like the next 10 to 20 years. So
like Jake says in chat, this game will never be done ever. They're just going to add more for the next 20 years. So and that's going to be it for our show. Now, Mr. Pub.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got coming up later?
Well, in about 2 hours, we're going to have. I'm not going to get the list off the top of my head. I can't remember. Eric McKetton.
Look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking at Meyer Test. Nighthawk Zale. Where's my list? And Stoutman PR are going to be in our the captain's table. We're going to be talking about space poops and how they happen. And we're going to be probably drinking lots and lots of alcohol.
Is this going to be an NDA focused stream where you just hit a beep and you all just?
I believe we're all
beep, beep,
ND.
beep,
I think we're all in
beep,
avocados,
beep,
so
beep. Yeah,
that's why we're talking about space poops and how they happen instead
Okay.
of we'll probably come on and just be like, hey, how about NDA, 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 and we're all just going to scream NDA. We're going to chant NDA,
NDA.
and yeah, like for the entire time. But
So
Everyone-
next week's show is going to be interesting.
2 hours. Twitch.tv/the Astro Pub.
The Astro Pub.
Go check it out. Shiver, what do you got this week?
I will be trawling through looking for news, so I feel towards the end of the week I'm going to be very busy. If you're into extreme metal or alternative, Wednesday, Cosmic Cataclysm, or if you like what we call comedy, this is going to be the last normal episode of Postcards, because then we're doing Christmas and New Year's specials afterwards.
And if you haven't checked it out, relay.sc/news is just a news feed. Now, the official news is run by Shiver. The community content is run by Mr. Jake Acapella. Check that out. It's just a feed for the latest in Star Citizen with no extra stuff. It's just, here's the news.
And plugging one more thing. You should go see the latest work from both Torellian and Athogen, our wonderful community members from Australia. They both made videos recently with one's a completely 3D inspired by Star Citizen. The other one is a CryEngine video made with Star Citizen assets, which are all pretty fucking cool. So
go check those out. Mr. Nakara, anything from you?
I expect to have an article this week, and we have one coming out from our very own Dolvac.
Yes.
Is he still around?
I think he died.
Oh, okay.
He was
right.
supposed.
We
he
have
was
we have an article from a ghost.
For the three people that love Dolvac, he was actually supposed to be on this show. He got horribly, horribly sick last night. So, Paul, thank you for stepping in for him.
The sick meaning that Papa Dolvac had too much happy juice.
Always.
Can you imagine Dolvac happy?
No.
Dolvac is never happy.
No.
Don't talk about Dolvac having happy.
So
he is not a merry man.
I would like to reiterate for those who are just joining us. Remember, next Friday is the holiday live stream for Star Citizen, and it should be interesting. Should make our jobs a lot easier next Saturday.
Yes.
And we'll probably have something coming up next Friday, considering we're all ditching work.
Yeah. Come here.
I may or may not be snagging some of these gentlemen for the captain's table next week if I can. So that way
I can do that, I believe.
Okay.
If you'd like.
I'm going to try to have a podcast of podcasts next week. So
yeah, let's do it. Next Friday, come here. We will do a pre-stream before the CIG stream. We will rehost.
I'm sorry.
We will rehost the CIG stream so you can chat in a chat room where there's not 14,000 people, and we will do a post-stream analysis. And we'll also do a transcript. Well, not a transcript, a summary of the event live as it happens on Relay.sc. Check out Relay. Thanks for watching the Relay Station. We'll see you next week. Wow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Follow the stream.
I wanted to make the music play again as we left, but I don't know how to do that. So, bye.
Bye.